Chetan Patil. I am an aspiring BA, so feel free to correct me at whatever moment you want. I would be going to explain in short about the Scrum events that we do and the common pitfalls that happen in each of those. Right? So can I start?
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
please.
Yeah.
Arpit, are you able to hear me?
Yes, please
Oh,
continue.
okay, okay. Thanks. So the first if Scrum event that we usually do is sprint planning. So in sprint planning meeting, we generally make a product backlog and sprint backlog, and then we discuss what needs to be prioritized in the next couple of weeks, prioritize tasks and make plan. The common pitfalls that people face are many a times they overcommit on a particular sprint because of various reasons uh, most of the times the tasks have lack of clarity. It has lots of dependencies and everything. So these are the major common pitfalls in sprint planning. Now the next one is daily stand up meeting. Now in daily stand up it is usually 15.
Chetan, can I interrupt? Who are the audience or who are the participants in this event? I mean, sprint planning. Which stakeholders are involved actually?
Yeah, so in sprint planning meeting, generally, I mean, product manager, business, and everyone in the development team is informed, is involved. In this, we usually map the story points and everything, and then we take it into the sprints.
Yeah. So Chetan, let's do this. Let's pick up one Scrum event and let's break it down to the bits, right? So
Okay,
let's
yeah, I just wanted to give short, but yeah, even that's fine.
yeah.
We can
So,
do like that. Yeah.
so take one event at a time, and let's get to know each and everything about that event, and everyone should have the same understanding, and everyone should be on same page, and then we can switch to the next event. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
In
So
Yes, in sprint planning meeting, usually what happens is we have a document like BRD or FRD or whatever that MVP that we have to build. So from that we make product backlog. Then we from product backlog we make sprint backlog. So now we make sprint backlog by identifying the definition of ready, right? So now definition of ready is that if a particular user story is has has passed the invest criteria and it can be taken into a sprint. For this, the business analyst, product owner, and the development team has a meeting, and in that they usually plan give story points or hours, and then based on the capacity of the team, the sprint planning meeting takes place. Shibra, you can add further if you want.
yeah, sure. Thanks, Chetan. Okay. So sprint planning. Yeah. So one question which Chetan has suggested is that the whole Scrum team participates in this event. So product owner, developers, Scrum master, and everyone is invited there, and the whole team is there. What Chetan also suggested is that we will have our product backlog that will be used to create a sprint backlog. But this is not done during the sprint planning. So before the sprint planning starts, it is important that we have our product backlog with refined stories, right? So the refinement should have been done, and the product items are have met the criteria of definition of ready. They are marked as ready, and they are ready to be taken in, and the output will be sprint backlog. So when we start with the meeting, we look at all the items which are in product backlog, and we look at the items which are ready, and then we look at the items which are potential for this sprint, and which can be used for creating the sprint backlog. Right now, these items will first define the sprint goal. So what is my sprint goal? What functions I am planning to give in this particular sprint? And then we pick up the items from the backlog, and we we see whether these items are matching my sprint goal or not, and how much I can deliver in this particular sprint. Sprint planning session is scheduled on the first day of the sprint. It is said that it is suggested that
Shubhra, can I interrupt? I mean,
yes, yes.
if at all, can we start with the Scrum roles? Actually, I mean, that will be very basic for us. But still, if you can explain, so that I mean, we will come to know who is product owner actually, who is the Scrum master, and what is the role of business analyst among apart from these two roles. So, what you are talking about, that who will draft the user stories, or who will make the BRD, who will prepare this, so we'll get a clear idea actually. So if you have a time, you can explain about the roles of these team members.
Okay, is this the question from Chetan or from Tushar?
No, this is Tushar.
Tushar, no? Chetan, would you like to take up this question first? So I think
Yes.
before even, going to Scrum events, we want to understand how Scrum works.
Yeah, so as per my basic understanding, product owner is responsible for all the prioritization and everything of the tasks, and of checking the product backlog and sprint backlog. Yeah, and business analyst is helping product owner. Am I right, Shubhra?
Yes, Chetan.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I know about things.
Okay. So Scrum defines that there are three major roles in Scrum. First one is Scrum Master. The purpose of Scrum Master is to be a servant leader. What that means is they are away from the conventional method of managing the teams. So right now in IT, there are project managers and there are people managers. So what these people do is they manage people per se, right? And they manage project. But Scrum Master, it is said that you are not supposed to manage the project. People will manage. The Scrum team will manage the project. You don't need to worry about it because the Scrum team itself is a self sufficient team. They can take care of all the day to day activities, and no one effectively needs to manage anyone else or manage anything else. What the role of Scrum Master is to remove the impediments. When we say impediments, we mean that there are any obstacles, right? So let's say I am a developer and I have to code, but some Visual Studio is not installed in my system. What will I do, right? That's an impediment. I cannot work. So they'll go to the Scrum Master and they'll say that I need a system which is installed with Visual Studio, and Scrum Master can guide them to okay, raise a service request and escalate it in case there are delays from a technical team to do that, right? So QC team says that I have to start with the testing, but the environment has not reached out to me yet. Yeah, or there are delays in getting the environment. So the Scrum Master will liaise with the release team and figure out what is causing the delay, how those delays can be removed fast, so that testing can start. So on day-to-day basis, there are certain obstacles which are stopping the team from continuing their work or from effectively delivering the work, and the role of the Scrum Master is to remove those obstacles. The second role of Scrum Master is to inform everyone what Agile is, what Scrum is, right? Because people are still living in the waterfall mindset. So the Scrum Master's role is to take them from the waterfall mindset to the Agile mindset and take decisions on the go, right? So typically, you can say that project managers have been replaced by Scrum Masters, but the Scrum Masters are supposed to be servant leaders rather than, managers, if you see what I mean. Any questions in the Scrum Master role?
Yeah, so considering these duties, apart from coordination, should he be a technical person? I mean, you said coding and you said technicality should be involved, technical problems can be resolved. So, is it necessarily that he's a technical person?
No, not required. Anyone can be a Scrum Master.
Okay, so apart from coordination, what skills are required to be a Scrum Master? I mean, boldly.
Understanding of Agile? being able to remove obstacles, being able to manage, coordinate with different teams. So those will be the skill sets.
Okay, fine. So Scrum Master's role is now clear to me. Then we can proceed to product owner now.
Mhm. Okay. So product owner is effectively, I won't call them as business analysts. So the role of business analyst is to analyze business and provide solutions, right? The role of product owner is to own the product. So within the product, what goes in, and how different features are implemented. So those kind of the decisions are taken by product owner. Recently, there is a product manager role which has come up. Scrum as such did not defined. I'm not sure if they have defined it now, but they didn't set product managers. Scrum only said product owners. So the role of product owner is to own the product and make decisions around the product. So let's say product manager says that there is a demand in the market for so and so feature. So that will be work of product manager to figure out, how they can sell out the product, how they can improve the product, how they can meet the market needs, and what will bring in more business, what will bring in more money. So that is what product manager does. But once product manager and product owner has decided on the feature, how that feature will be implemented is something that product owner will own. If it is a small team, product owner and BA roles get merged. If it is a very big team, the very big, vast product, then usually there will be a single product owner, and underneath this product owner or supporting this product owner will be multiple business analysts. Scrum sets developers. So business analysts are part of developers. So apart from product owner and apart from Scrum Master, who all are there in the Scrum team, they all are known as developers. And BA, QC, testing team, development team, everyone falls into the developers category. So Scrum team is supposed to be, not more than 7 to 9 people at max. Recommended is 5 to 7 people. So let's say there is a team of 9 people and one is product owner, other is Scrum Master. Rest 7 will be all um, developers, right? And the Scrum team is supposed to be self-sufficient in itself. That means that they did not go to other teams to deliver the sprint. The whole Scrum team should be enabled should have all the authority or all the knowledge, to deliver a particular product increment in the sprint. Any questions on Scrum teams?
So the product owner will be solely taking the decisions regarding this project. I mean, who will be involved in that developer team, or who will be the Scrum Master? Or I mean, if you make a hierarchy, so how will it work? Product owner and later the Scrum Master, or like that?
Yeah. So Scrum says no hierarchy. Hierarchy was waterfall model, right? So Scrum says there is no hierarchy. Everyone is working collaboratively. Yeah, the whole team is sufficient, self enabled. Uh, you can read more terms there, but the whole team is has the means to deliver product increment. There is no hierarchy. No one can say that is coming under PO. No one can say that PO is coming under Scrum Master. No one can say that Scrum Master is above all of the other developers. It's a teamwork. No one is reporting into anyone. Everyone is there doing their own work, and then only the team will succeed. If you put a hierarchy there, then people will have a mindset that will only do what we are told to do. We will not own anything, right? They'll have the mindset that whatever Scrum Master tells us to do, we'll only do that, and that's the end of it, because everything is owned by Scrum Master or PO. No, that is not the idea. The idea is for, making people responsible, making people own the work they do, right? So no one reports into anyone. There is no hierarchy in Scrum. Does that answer your question, Tushar?
Yeah, yeah, that's great. I mean, I came to know about ownership of this job. My question was since I'm from banking background, so we usually talk about the responsibility and accountability. Leader takes accountability and responsibilities to the person who is assigned with a task. So, out of these three roles, who is accountable and who is responsible for the given task or for the project? That was my question.
The Scrum team is both responsible and accountable. If the increment is not delivered on time, the whole team fails. No one can say that Scrum Master fails or PO fails. So
Okay,
that's
got it.
that's what we have to understand, right? We have to see, we are still living. I'm not suggesting anyone or pointing out anyone. I'm saying everyone is, in fact, yeah. So everyone is living in a mindset where they think that someone will tell them what to do. And Scrum says, own, bring in the ownership feeling in yourself. And that feeling will only come when you own everything you do, right? So even during a daily Scrum, right? Chetar will talk about it. Even during daily Scrum, uh, you do not give status report, right? You just say what I did yesterday, what I'll be doing today, and where are my blockers. It's no no one is taking status report, or no one is saying this one, why you have not done this, right? So everyone is owning their piece of work. The work is divided within the team. No one says that, okay, I'll divide the team, I'll divide the work between you. So everyone knows that, what their work is and what piece of a particular functionality they can own. So there can be leaders, so within the developers there can be lead people. So but Scrum does not say that you need to have a hierarchical structure, or someone will give you the responsibility, and that's where we all feel, right? I have not seen any project which is following Scrum to the core. Every project is kind of a mixture between Scrum and waterfall, because people have not come out of their mindset, right? Even my project is a mix of Scrum and waterfall. Even if we are in fact following a lot of Scrum ideology, but still there are still some elements which makes it difficult. So I th- there is an ideal way and there is a practical way, right? So ideally, the whole team owns everything. Does that answer Tushan?
Yeah, Chitra, it is very clear. And the last question is, who choose the team members? I mean, who will work on this project, or who is the team member? So who takes this decision to start the
Um,
project?
yeah. So how the project starts is that you receive a request for code, right? So the client comes to you and say that I want so and so function, or your sales team goes to the client and say that, okay, we'll give you so and so function, and they have these sales negotiations. So once the project comes in, there is a discovery phase to figure out what needs to be done in the project, right? And once the discovery is over, what needs to be done in the project. Then there is a project planning phase. So in this phase, it is decided who all will be working on it, for how long they'll be working on it, how many sprints will have, and which all team members will work on it. So that is something project managers and senior leadership will do. Yeah. And then once we start with the sprint, we have our sprint teams in place by then.
Yeah, actually, now it makes sense to me how project starts, how what phases goes, and how team is built up with the clear. I mean, the role which we have cleared. Now we can speak about the Scrum events. So better Chetan will continue.
So, yeah. So one more point before we move from Scrum teams to Scrum events is that uh, PO. role, right? It's product owner role. So the Scrum was originally supposed to be implemented for product projects, yeah, where product development is happening. But now we have implemented Scrum for even implementation projects and support projects as well. So do not do not let the word PO make you think that it is only for Scrum can only be done for product implementations, right? So uh, anyone who is owning the increment or the sprint features and what goes in and how things are developed, that is what a product owner does. Another thing to note is there can be only single product owner. So let's say I have a product with hundreds of features in it. It's a big product, right? Hundred of features are there, and hundred of Scrum teams are working in parallel to deliver the product increments. Even in that case, there will be a single product owner, and then this product owner can have one product owner assigned to each team. But these product owners which are assigned to each team will be essentially the BAs working on on their individual features, right? They will be sharing the responsibilities of PO because one PO cannot be anywhere. But whatever are the major decisions taken in regards to how the product will be developed, it will be taken by a single person. Because otherwise, what will happen is if everyone is developing a piece of function according to their will, then the product will become inconsistent. One functionality will be working in one way, another functionality will be working in another way, right? Because everyone will think in their own way and will develop things in their own way, right? So it is essential that there is one person who can tell the other PO or the sub PO or the BA that whatever solution you are proposing is inconsistent with the rest of the product. And there is it is essential that there is one person who is looking over all the 100 increments that are going in, so that they can think from the whole end to end perspective, what will be delivered. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So, is we can say the product owner is the face from the company to their clients, and ever the Scrum Master and the developer team need to go face to face with the client, or only product owner will meet the client and take the request or change request and prioritize the requirement.
um See, think it from this way. You are developing a product, right? So when you develop a product, there is no client. So you develop the product and then you sell your product in the market. That then they become your client. But then they are implementation projects, right? They are not product development projects. So when you are developing product, you are creating your personas, you are creating your pseudo users, you are doing surveys, you are doing interviews, and then you are deciding what needs to be done. Yeah. And product owner is part of the team. They are they are supposed to be the people who know how business works, right? And they I won't say only the product owner is face to the client, right? So let's say there is a client involved, even BAs from the developers team per se, right, will be facing the client on day to day basis. So uh, product owner role was not designed originally to be a client facing role. It was supposed that they'll own the product, and essentially there are no clients in product development per se, yeah, till the product is sold, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, it is quite clear now because that was the ambiguity between product owner role and business analyst role. Now it is quite clear that product owner will be there. Only one will be the product owner, and besides, BAs can be. There can be multiple BAs under one umbrella of the product owner. So it is quite clear now. Product owner will take the decisions.
Hmm. Yeah, essential decisions, right, which affect the consistency of the product. Day-to-day decisions VAs can take, because otherwise PO will become the bottleneck, right? And that's what we don't want. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any further questions on the Scrum teams before we continue our discussion on sprint planning? I'll take it as no. Okay.
Yeah.
So we were talking about sprint planning. So what I suggested was that it is done on the first day of the sprint. It is recommended that for 1 month sprint, minimum 8 hours should be spent on planning. So if you are having 2 weeks sprint, so roughly 4 hours, that is half a day. So the first day of the sprint, the first half of the first day is supposed to be a sprint planning session, wherein you will pick up all the items in the product backlog which are ready, and you pick up the items which satisfy the sprint goal, right? And then you bring those in. And how you bring those in is, have you heard of the terms capacity and velocity?
Yeah, I have some idea about these words. Capacity is the capacity is decided what a developer team can work in a single sprint, and velocity are the points assigned to the work done by the team in one sprint, what they have completed.
Hmm. Right. So, my sprint is supposed, let's say the requirements are captured in a user story, right? So each user story will have a relative estimation done, and story points are assigned to a story. Now, in first sprint, let's say my team did the work of 100 story points. In second sprint, the team did a work of 150 story points. In the third sprint, the team did a work of 125 story points, right? So after 3 sprints, it was decided that on an average, the team is capable to deliver roughly 125 story points, right? So that becomes my sprint velocity. So every sprint, it is expected that the team will deliver, you know, 100 to 150 story points, or 120 to 130 story points, or whatever way we want to range it out. So that is my sprint velocity. Capacity is, how much my team can do in this particular sprint. So let's say the sprint velocity is 125, but I'm having Diwali holidays and my team is not available. So the team, someone from the team will suggest to Scrum Master that the capacity for this particular sprint is only, uh, let's say 80 story points or 100 story points, not more than that. Though we were expecting 125 story points, but the capacity is 80 or 100 only for this particular sprint. And next sprint onwards, once the Diwali is over, we'll go back to our original velocity. Yeah. So now you know what is your sprint capacity. So so and so people will be on holiday, and roughly I'll be able to deliver so many story points. So let's say you say I can deliver 100 story points. Then you have your product backlog items, and what you will do is, first you have shortened the product backlog items, and you have said these are the items which I'm going to look at in this particular sprint. So this is my sprint backlog. Now what you'll do is you'll arrange those items. What needs to be done first and what needs to be done second. So certain user stories will be dependent on other user stories, right? So till that particular story is not taken up, you cannot work on this particular story, right? So if let's say B is dependent on A, so you need to do A first and then only you can do B. So what you'll do is you'll say that, okay, A, X, M. These are the three stories which I need to do first. So you take up A, you take up X, and you take up M, and then you during your sprint planning, or during your refinement sessions or during your grooming sessions, how many story points this story will be. So you have already done the estimation. So you'll say, okay, my X story will take 10 story points. Not 10, let's say 8 story points. My uh, X story will uh, sorry, my A story will take 8 story points. My X story will take 13 story points. So 13 plus 8, 21, right? Yeah, 21. And then you say my M story will take um, 5 story points. So total 26 story points are done. You first three stories are final. This way, you pick up all the stories which you can do depending on the dependency, and total up the items, and you say that okay, I have now an roughly I have taken up till 98 story points. So these are the items I'll do in this particular sprint. And once that is done, once you reach out your capacity of 100 story points, everything is moved back to the product backlog. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Is the sprint planning clear? Any questions?
So actually, while deciding the story points, I mean, alone product owner takes decision, or whole team is, sit together and talks about the priorities of requirements and then decide about the story points, or product owner single-handedly take decision, or a BA.
Story points are decided by the team. Yeah, because the team has to work on it. Only they can suggest how much time they'll take. How can product owner decide how much time a particular developer will take to deliver a particular function? They can't, right?
Yeah, so there will be a meeting between all the team members, and that will be called as a sprint planning, and story points will be decided there.
Story points could be decided during sprint planning, or they could have already been decided, prior. So once your story is ready, once you say that okay, my acceptance criteria is complete, at any point in time, you can reach out to your developers and you can say that in this story we are going to do this. Let's estimate it. Yeah, you can have your estimation session done at any point in time. Depending on how comfortable you are, right? So some do it during sprint planning itself. Some people, find it more useful to have the story points listed out before the sprint planning session. So there's no hard and fast rule, as far as I am aware, that you have to do this estimation during sprint planning. Whatever works for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that answer?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Any other questions on sprint planning? Anyone else? We have others on the call as well. If you want to ask any questions, or if you want to, add any points which we may have missed, feel free to raise your hand, and I'll invite you in. So just send me a request to become a speaker. Yeah. Okay.